Hello everyone, good evening and happy Eid to everyone. Eid Mubarak say to all the people, to all Muslim people worldwide. We hope that these holidays will bring us glory and good health, happiness all over the Arab countries. And we wish all the best of luck to our students who will sit for the back exam next June the 8th. So, first of all, I would like to thank everyone who is showing care and attention to our live lessons. And I'm happy to be here with you today in this live to share with you some important information concerning the back exam, which will take place, of course, as I said, on June 8th. So I'm going to shed light today on the lesson of phrasal verbs, which is absolutely included in our back exam. And as I said, phrasal verbs are an important component and they are counted as a vocabulary exercise, but at the same time will be tested in grammar. And the question of the exam concerning the phrasal verbs is we have a list of phrasal verbs, okay, and some sentences with blanks. يعني عندنا واحد لا ليست ديال phrasal verbs وعندنا جمل بالفراغات خصنا نعمرو ديك الفراغات بالphrasal verbs اللي عطاونا, okay. So the question is fill in the blanks with the right phrasal verb from the list below or from the list above. You have a list above and we have sentences with blanks in which we have to fill in with the right and appropriate phrasal verb from the list given. So we are going to revise today some important phrasal verbs that are included in the back exams, and we will start with the ones which have more than one meaning. So we have to pay attention that some phrasal verbs in the back exam have more than one meaning, and you have to pay attention to the context. So context يعني السياق هو اللي غيحدد لنا المعنى ديال phrasal verb. So we start with the verb phrasal verb number 1, turn down. Turn down has got two meanings. The first meaning of turn down, number 1, is to reduce the sound. Reduce the sound of music, for example, or TV or radio, for example. Can you turn down the music, please? So turn down here means reduce the sound and the volume of the music. And the opposite of turn down in this context is turn up. Turn up means to increase the sound and make it higher to you. So number 1, turn down, meaning number 1 means reduce the sound. يعني كتنقص من الصوت ديال إما TV, music or radio. Second meaning of turn down in the back exam is to refuse. For example, I invited my friend Reda for my birthday, but he turned down my invitation. So turn down the invitation means refuse and decline and reject, to say no. And you know, the turn down has got two meanings. I repeat, the first meaning of turn down is to reduce the sound of music or TV or radio, and the second meaning of turn down is to refuse, for example, an invitation, refuse a request, an order, or something like that. Okay. Another important phrasal verb that you should pay attention to is break down. Break down. So breakdown has also two meanings. The first meaning of breakdown is to collapse. Okay, when the building collapse, that is a fall down. يعني سقوط بنايات, انهيار بنايات. Like for example, many houses break down when there is a natural disaster, like an earthquake. So fall down, meaning here fall down. Breakdown number 1 is to fall down. For example, many houses break down in natural disasters. Okay, يعني انهيار أو سقوط البنايات. Breakdown also in this context can be for people when they break down. يعني انهيار العصبي بالنسبة للناس when they break down, that they fall down due to being nervous or to hearing something bad. For example, my grandmother broke down yesterday because she heard very bad news. That is to say, she fell down. Breakdown number two is of course to stop working. يعني واحد لا ماشين واحد الآلة كتكون خدامة كتحبس. En français on dit tomber en panne. For example, my car broke down yesterday when I was coming back home. That is to say, my car stopped working. يعني المعنى الثاني ديال break down بالنسبة للإكزامان ناسيونال هي to stop working. Another example, my computer broke down last night. What does it mean? My computer stopped working. That is to say, it does not work anymore and I need to fix it up. So I repeat, breakdown, the first meaning is to fall down, and the second meaning to stop working. We have a synonym for breakdown number two is to crash down. Computers crash down when they get old. That is to say, they stop working. On a l'expression en français, on dit tomber en panne. Okay? So I move to another phrasal verb. This time we have a phrasal verb that has 5 meanings. Pay attention to pick up. The phrasal verb pick up. Pick, P-I-C-K. Pick up number one is to collect something from the ground. شي حاجة تحت لك في الأرض, you pick it up. يعني you collect it. التقاط شيء من الأرض. You pick something from the ground. So this is number one. Pick up number one means to collect something from the ground. For example, when my phone fell down yesterday, I picked it up. I collected from the ground. So pick up number one is to collect from the ground. Number two of pick up is to answer the phone. يعني كتجاوب على واحد التليفون. يعني for example, when the phone is ringing, you ask someone to pick it up. For example, say, please can you pick up the phone? It's ringing. That is to say, can you answer the call? Okay? So to answer the call is to pick up the phone. So number three of pick up is to take someone by car. يعني كتدوز شي واحد كتدوز موراه بالطوموبيل كتاخدو. This is pick up. For example, my father always picks me up from school. That is to say, my father comes by his car and picks me up. That is to say, he gives me a lift and takes me by his car. So, number four of pick up is to choose something. يعني le verbe choisir. For example, I give you 5 colors and I ask you to pick up the favorite color or your best color. So I'm going to say to you, please can you pick up your favorite color? That is to say, can you choose? Est-ce que tu peux choisir ta couleur préférée? So here in this context, pick up means to choose. So we have here meaning number 3. Number 4. Number 5, the last one, which is very important in our back exam, is to learn something easily without difficulty. يعني كتعلم واحد الشيء بسهولة, especially languages. surtout les langues. خاصة تعلم لغات. يعني for example, children pick up their parents' language. That is to say, they learn it easily by practice. Or for example, when I went to Spain last summer, I picked up Spanish. I picked up. That is to say, I learned Spanish easily without a difficulty. So here, pick up, number 5 is to learn easily, يعني apprendre facilement. So I'm going to repeat the 5 meanings of pick up. Pick up number 1 is to collect something from the ground. 2, pick up number 2 to answer the phone. Pick up number 3 to take someone by car. Like my father picks me up from school, or I will pick you up at 9. That is to say, I will come by car and take you. Number 4 of pick up is to choose something, and the last one of pick up is to learn easily, as I said, especially languages. يعني كتعلم واحد اللغة بسهولة, It can be language or dialect. Dialect, D-I-L-E-C-T. Dialect هي اللهجة. Someone to write dialects for me? Can you please write? How do we write dialect? For example, in Morocco we have many dialects like Berber, Amazigh, Tarifid, Moroccan Arabic, Darija. These are called dialects. How do we write dialects? Can you please write it down? So I pick up the Spanish dialect. That is to say the way the Spanish people pronounce the word. Okay? So this is called dialect. Yes. Now I move to another phrasal verb which has two meanings. Is to give up. Give up, number one, is to abandon, to stop, and to quit a bad habit. يعني تخلي عن عادة سيئة. For example, give up smoking, give up cheating, give up drinking alcohol. So all these things have to do with quitting and stopping a bad habit. Give up, the doctor advised John to give up smoking. That is to say, the doctor advised John to quit and to stop smoking. Pick up number two is to surrender. واستسلام. استسلام. Surrender. S-U-R-R-E-N-D-E-R. For example, the teacher says to you, for example, sometimes, don't give up, keep working hard. يعني لا تستسلم. Don't surrender. Don't stop working. Just keep fighting and keep working hard. So I repeat, ونعاود المعنى ديال جوج المعاني ديال give up. Give up, number one, is to stop a bad habit, to abandon a bad habit. يعني abandonner une mauvaise habitude. يعني تخلي عن عادة سيئة. Like give up smoking, give up cheating on exams, for example. Number two of the second meaning of give up in the back exam is to surrender. والاستسلام. For example, you tell your friend, don't give up, keep fighting, continue working hard so that you can get higher grades. Another phrasal verb which is very important in the back exam and it has got two meanings is to take off. Take off. So take off, the first meaning is to remove the clothes. يعني كتحيد les vêtements. For example, when the weather is hot, you take off your jacket. Take off your jacket, that is to say, you remove your jacket. And the opposite of take off in this case is to put on. Put on the jacket, yeah, to wear. يعني كتلبس jacket, put on. Okay, العكس ديالها is to take off. That is to say, you remove it and you don't wear it anymore. So, take off number two, the second meaning of take off is when the plane leaves the airport. يعني مغادرة الطائرة أرض المطار. For example, you say, the plane is going to take off. Take off. En français, le verbe décoller. إقلاع. The plane is going to take off at 7 o'clock. يعني l'avion va décoller à 7 heures. يعني هنا المعنى الثاني ديال take off في امتحان البكالوريا هو إقلاع الطائرة. يعني when the plane leaves the ground of the airport. Okay? En français on dit le verbe décoller. And of course the opposite of take off in this case is to land. Land. Okay? But take off number two, as I said, is to leave the airport. I repeat, take off number one, first meaning is to remove the clothes. Is the opposite of put on the clothes. So when you put on and you wear كتلبس ولكن ملي غتبغي تحيد you take off your clothes. The opposite. And the second meaning, as I said, of take off is when the plane leaves the airport. يعني الطائرة ملي كتقلع على أرض المطار كتسمى taken off. For example, hurry up, the plane to London will take off. Okay? So this is another important phrasal verb. So, لحد الآن شفنا دابا turn down, شفنا pick up, شفنا break down, شفنا give up, شفنا take off. دابا نشوف واحد phrasal verb عندها ثاني جوج ديال المعاني. هو back up. to backup. B-A-C-K up. Okay. Backup number one is when you help someone. For example, can you please back me up? When you say this to your friend, for example, means can you please help me? Or sometimes you tell your friend, I need some backup. What is I need some backup? That is to say, I need some help. Backup here means help someone, يعني مساعدة, aider quelqu'un. Backup number two in the back exam is when you save a copy of information on your computer. يعني كتسجل شي حاجة في الكمبيوتر. En français on dit enregistrer sous quelque chose. بحال دابا كتكون كتكتب شي حاجة في بيسي كتبغي تونجستريها هذه كتسمى back up the information. So you back the information up. That is to say, you save it on your computer and later on you can consult it and see it later. Okay? Now we finished with the phrasal verbs that have more than one meanings. Now we move to some important other phrasal verbs that you should pay attention to, like apply for. To apply for something is to ask for something. يعني كتطلب شي حاجة كدير طلب ديال شي حاجة. بحال دابا أنا باغي نطلب فيزا باش نسافر لأوروبا نقول I want to apply for a visa. باغي نطلب ان travail ملي كتشد ديبلوم كتبغي تطلب travail كتقول I want to apply for a job. I want to apply for a job. يعني je veux demander un emploi. Je veux demander un travail. So in this case, apply for means to ask for something, to make a request. Request هو الطلب. وعندنا الدرس في البكالوريا بيان سور بالنسبة للcommunicative functions. Making request يعني كتدير قيام بطلب. So when you apply for هذوك التلاميذ اللي كيبغيو يطلبوا في المنحة they apply for a scholarship. Scholarship is هي la bourse en français. يعني quand tu veux demander une bourse, in English we say you apply for a scholarship. So apply for هي كتطلب شي حاجة. Okay. Another phrasal verb that you have to pay attention to in the back exam is to cut down on. Je répète, cut down on. Cut, C-U-T, يعني couper. Cut down on. It has got two prepositions, down and on. Cut down on means to reduce consumption of something. يعني كتقلل من استهلاك لواحد المادة. يعني réduire, en français on dit réduire la consommation d'une substance. بحال دابا كتمشي عند الميدسان الدكتور كيقولك you should cut down on sugar. يعني خصك تنقص من السكر. You should cut down on. So cut down on means to reduce the consumption of something, especially something harmful. شي حاجة مضرة للجسد ديالك للهيلث ديالك الصحة. الطبيب كيقولك you should cut down on, for example, sugar, cut down on fast food, cut down on cigarettes, cut down on oil, okay? Things that will spoil your health. يعني أي حاجة مضرة للصحة كيقول لك الميدسان خصك بأن خصك تنقص من الاستهلاك ديالها. يعني cut down on is to reduce ماشي stop غير reduce كتنقص من استهلاك المادة. To reduce the consumption of something bad to your health, okay? Another phrasal verb that you have to pay attention to كيبقى يتعاود بزاف في الامتحانات الوطنية هو stand for. Stand for something. Stand for هي to mean كتعني يعني بحال دابا هذوك كتستعملوا مع لي زابريفياسيون بحال UN. UN stands for the United Nations. NGO هذيك N stand for non, G stand for governmental, O stand for organization. يعني stand for كنستعملوها مع لي زابريفياسيون دوك الاختصارات بحال WWW هذيك السنين اللي كنلقاو في الانترنت. We say WWW stand for World Wide Web. World Wide Web يعني داك W كتعني الأولى كتعني World الثانية كتعني Wide الثالثة كتعني Web. يعني stand for we use it for abbreviations and it's the meaning is means. بحال دابا USA. The word USA stands for the United States of America. يعني كلمة USA تعني الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية. يعني stand for كنستعملوها مع les abréviations surtout هذوك les acronymes. We also call them in English acronyms. Another phrasal verb that you have to pay attention to in the back exam is to put off. Put off, okay? Put off and O-double-F, okay? Put off. P-U-T space O-double-F. Put off هو التأجيل. To postpone. كتأجل واحد l'activité, واحد النشاط, واحد العمل غديرو, you put it off. يعني كتأجلو. For example, I'm going to put off my project for next year. يعني غنأجل المشروع ديالي حتى العام الجاي. I'm not going to work on it because I have a lot of studies, so I decided to put it off. يعني غنأجلو. We say to postpone or to delay. Delay, you write it in English like D-E-L-A-Y. Delay something is to postpone it. Okay? So this is the meaning of postpone in English. يعني put off كتعني قلنا تأجيل. وكاينة put on باش ما نخلطوش بيناتهم. Put on قلنا هي to wear, كتلبس لي فيتمون. For example, I decided to put on my traditional clothes. Or Muslim people, for example, in Eid al-Fitr, they like to put on a new and smart clothes. That is to say, they wear nice clothes. Okay? So خصنا نفرقوا بين put off, خصنا نحدى معاهم بجوج. Put off و put on. Okay? Put off هي كتأجل شي حاجة, and put on هي كتلبس, to wear clothes. Okay? You have to pay attention to these important phrasal verbs. Another important phrasal verb that you have to pay attention to in the back exam is to look after. Look after someone. هي الاعتناء بالشخص. Take care of someone. En français on dit prendre soin de quelqu'un. For example, women look after their children. Their children, that is to say, they take care of, يعني les femmes qui يعتنوا بالأطفال ديالهم. They should look after their children, يعني they should take care of their children. يعتنوا بالأطفال ديالهم. بحال دابا كتكون كتكتب شي ميساج لصاحبك في الآخر كتقول له goodbye, look after yourself. Look after yourself. شنو هي look after yourself؟ هي take care of yourself. We can also say take care of yourself. يعني prendre soin de toi. Okay? So look after هي take care of someone. Another phrasal verb that is very important also in the back exam is to find out. Find out. يعني اكتشاف. You discover new information. You discover something new. You learn something new for the first time. يعني أول مرة كتعرف شي حاجة كنقولوا you find it out. For example, the police are trying to find out the killer. يعني la police en train de يعني connaître l'assassin. باغيين يكتشفوا شكون القاتل. Okay? They want to find out the killer. Or for example, people travel around the world to find out new cultures. يعني اكتشاف ثقافات جديدة. Find out. هذه حداو معاه عندها واحد السينونيم تا هو phrasal verb en même temps هو figure out. Figure out. F-I-G-U-R-E space out. Figure out is to, also means to find out. For example, when I read English books, I find out new expressions. Yani I discover, I know, I learn new expressions and words in English. And you find out, and the past, of course, of find is found. Okay. For example, when I was in Spain last summer, I found out. I'm going to conjugate. خصني ضروري إلا كان حدا معاه في الوطني اللي عطاك الانديكاتور في الباست. Last summer, you have to pay attention to, and you have to change the tense of the verb, and you put find in the simple past, which is found. Je répète l'exemple. When I went to Spain last summer, I found out new customs and traditions. يعني اكتشفت عادات وتقاليد ديال Spanish people. يعني I figured out, I discovered new traditions. Okay? Another important phrasal verb that you have to pay attention to also in the back exam is to look forward to. هذا حداو معاه في forward to. Look forward. Forward you write it with FOWARD. Look forward to, and it's always followed by verb ing. Look forward to حداو معاه دائما نتبعوا. دابا نعطيكم باغ اكزومبل واحد لا ليست فيها look forward to، راه غنديرها الا كان داك قدام ليسباس كاين verb ing، غندير look forward to حيت هي ديما كتجي مع look forward to ing. For example look forward to اش كتعني؟ كتعني تتطلع الى فعل الشيء، يعني I'm waiting for something with passion, with love, with excitement، يعني تنتظر وقوع شيء ولا حدوث شيء، واحد الحماس، واحد الاكسايتمنت، واحد الانثوزيازم، واحد الباشن. اوكي، بحال دابا شي واحد كينتظر يمشي يزور مدينة لندن كيقول I look forward to visiting London. That's to say I'm excited and I can't wait to visit London and I'm waiting for this moment to happen. That's why he says I'm looking forward, or I look forward to visiting London. Or some students say, for example, we look forward to getting higher grades in the next exams. Okay, and we are waiting with excitement, with love, with passion that we are going to receive very excellent marks in the national exam. Okay, so look forward to قلنا نحداو معها متبوعة ديما verb ing and it means to wait for something with excitement. انتظار وقوع الشيء بواحد الحماس، بواحد الشغف، بواحد love. Okay, this is something that you have to pay attention to. Okay, another important phrasal verb that you have to pay attention to in the back exam is to take up. حداو مع هذا بزاف كيبقى يتعاودوا هادو. Take up هي to practice an activity, especially a sport، خاصة ممارسة الرياضة. For example, in my free time I like to take up swimming. That is to say, I like to practice swimming in my free time. So it's like a hobby، بحال واحد الهواية كتبقى تمارسها في الوقت الفراغ. So take up in this case means to start practicing your favorite activity as a hobby, like especially with sport. I can also take up reading in summer. Yani I start practicing reading in summer holidays. Okay, so take up is يعني خصني نحدد مع take up و take off. قلنا take off هي عندها جوج المعاني، نذكر ب take off المعنى الأول هي to remove the clothes، المعنى الثاني when the plane leaves the airport إقلاع الطائرة. ولكن take up هي to practice a sport or an activity in your free time. Another important phrasal verb is to look up. Look up هذا خاص بالديكسيونير، هذا dictionary، يعني هي to look or to search for the meaning of words in the dictionary. كتقلب على المعنى ديال الكلمات في الديكسيونير. So for example, my teacher always advises me to look up the difficult words. يعني ملي كنفهمش واحد الكلمة في الانجلي I look it up. شنو هي I look it up؟ I go to the dictionary and I look for and I search for its meaning. يعني chercher le sens des mots dans le dictionnaire. يعني look up حدو معها خاصة بديكسيونير. Okay? Look up. Another phrasal verb which is also important for your exam is to set up. S-E-T up. Set up. Set up is to create, to establish, to found. تأسيس. Create, for example, my teacher is going to set up a new club in the school. يعني الأستاذ ديالي غيأسس واحد النادي في المدرسة. My teacher is going to set up a new school. The government is going to set up new projects in rural areas. يعني الحكومة غتأسس مشاريع جديدة في المناطق القروية. So we say in English, the government is going to set up يعني to create new projects. يعني الحكومة غادي تأسس مشاريع جديدة في المناطق القروية. I will repeat the example. The government is going to set up new projects in rural areas. So setup is very important, and pay attention that the past of set does not change. We have set, set, set. خصني نحضر مع set و sit. Sit down, like sit down, S-I-T. The past is sat, and the past participle is sat. But set does not change, okay? That's why you have to pay attention to. And setup is to, as I repeat, is to create, to establish a project, a club, an association. بحال دابا الجيران ديالنا قرروا باش يديروا واحد الجمعيه د الحي، اسسوا واحد الجمعيه. شنو نقول بالانجلي؟ نقول my neighbors decided to set up a new association. يعني غيأسسوا واحد الجمعيه في الحي ديالنا. That's why I say my neighbors are going to set up a new information, a new association. يعني they are going to create, to establish a new association in the neighborhood. Okay? Another important phrasal verb that I have to pay attention to when I'm revising my back exams is to bring about. حضر معايا هذا بزاف راه كيتحط. bring about هي تؤدي إلى. بحال دابا عندنا for example driving fast brings about car accident. يعني السياقة بسرعة تؤدي إلى حوادث سير. هنا عندنا relationship of cause and effect. Okay? هذا نهضروا على الدرس هذا cause and effects in the next lives. So bring about here to lead to cause something to happen. يعني عندها علاقة ديال cause and effect. Okay? You have to pay attention to this phrasal verb. Bring about يعني تؤدي إلى. Another example, poverty brings about crimes. Brings about crimes يعني الفقر يؤدي إلى جرائم. Brings about crimes or leads to crimes or results in crimes or culminates in crimes. Okay? So bring about هي تؤدي إلى. Another phrasal verb with bring هي bring up. Bring up هي to educate children. تربية الأطفال. ماشي الاعتناء، هذه تربية الأطفال. For example, parents should bring up their children in a good way. يعني الآباء خصهم يربيوا أولادهم بطريقة جيدة. Bring up the children. يعني educate the children. Okay? I was brought up in a traditional family. تربيت في واحد العائلة يعني like for example say conservative محافظة. I was brought up in a conservative family. I was brought up يعني j'étais éduqué يعني I was reared, was educated within a family which is very conservative, respecting the traditions and the religion. Okay? يعني bring up ماشي هي bring about. أنا bring about هي تؤدي إلى to cause something. But bring up is to educate children and to raise them. We have the verb in English to raise children. Raise, R-A-I-S-E. Raise children is to educate them. Okay? This is bring up. So we have to pay attention to these important phrasal verbs, and we need to always revise them so that we can have an association to the context. Okay? We have also pass away, another phrasal verb. Pass away. P-A-S-S space A-W-A-Y. Pass away. هو mourir, to die, الموت. ملي كيموت شي واحد كنقولوا he passed away. Pass away is to die. Okay? For example, my grandfather passed away last summer. يعني my grandfather died. Okay? Many people pass away in car accidents. That is to say, many people die in car accidents. Okay? So pass away has to do with the verb to die, and the noun of die is death. Okay? Noun of die is death. D-E-A-T-H. Okay? So pass away, pay attention. To pass away is to die. En français, c'est le verbe mourir. Okay? Another phrasal verb that we need to focus on when we revise our back exam is to get on and get on or get off. get on هي كتطلع لواحد الطوموبيل ولا واحد الحافلة واحد السيارة واحد البيس باص. get on the car يعني I enter the car. ولكن العكس ديالها ملي كتبغي تهبط من لا فواتور ولا لو بيس باغ اكزومبل you say get off the bus. get off the car. off او دبل اف. دابا عندنا get on لو كونترير ديالها هو get off. get on get off. get on هي كتطلع لا فواتور you enter the car, but the opposite is you get off يعني you leave the car or the bus. Okay, you have to pay attention to these important phrasal verbs because they are always هادو راه ديما كيبداو يتعاودوا في لي زيكزامان يعني خصني نخدم مع هادوك سيرتو هادوك اللي عندهم كثر من معنى واحد. Okay, we have to pay attention to. We have another phrasal verb make up. كتخترع شي حاجه بحال دابا شي واحد كيجي ديما معطل القسم وكيبقى يخترع اكاذيب دي زيستوار كنقولوا he makes up stories. ولا شي صاحبك ديما كيبقى يكتب عليك كنقول you are making new stories يعني you are inventing stories. Don't believe him, he likes to make up stories يعني he likes to invent كيعجبو يخترع دي زيستوار دي excuses. Okay, excuses, pretext يعني il aime inventer des histoires يعني make up has to do with like these things. You create, you invent something in your mind, like you imagine stories as a way to lie and to escape from telling the truth. Okay, so make up has to do with inventing lies and inventing things. Okay, we have call off, the phrasal verb to call off, C-A-L, call off, O double F. call off هي كتلغي واحد الحاجة ماشي بحال put off. put off تأجيل ولكن call off إلغاء. En français le verbe annuler بحال دابا the teacher is going to call off the competition of public speaking because he doesn't have time. So يعني le professeur va annuler la compétition du public speaking parce qu'il n'a pas du temps. So we say in English, je répète, the teacher is going to call off the public speaking competition because he's going or because he doesn't have enough time. So خصنا نفرقوا between make a difference between put off اللي هي تأجيل postpone وكاينة call off اللي هي الإلغاء which are near together but they are completely different in meaning. So call off the match for example هي كنلغيو الماتش ولكن put off the match هي غنأجلو الماتش وغنديرو après. Okay, we have to pay attention to this phrasal verb. Another phrasal verb that we have to be aware of when we talk about the back exam when it is in context is to أن ثلاثة عندهم نفس المعنى. carry on, keep on, go on. carry on, go on, keep on. carry on, C-A-R-R-Y, like don't stop, carry on. carry on هي to continue doing something. بحال دابا الأستاذ كيعطيك شي نقطة مزيانة وكيدير في l'observation don't stop, carry on. carry on means keep working hard, continue working hard. نقدر نقول لك عاوتاني keep on هي continue working hard ولا يقول لك go on. Okay, go on also means continue working. Okay, يعني عندنا ثلاثة عندهم نفس المعنى نعاودهم carry on, keep on, go on, they have all the same meaning. Okay, I'm going to stop for 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I'm going to go back for talking about writing emails, and we have two kinds of emails in the back exam. We have formal email and informal email. I'm going to talk about them after 3 minutes. I hope that you have had enough information concerning the phrasal verbs revision, and I'm going to have another list of phrasal verbs for you I can put it in my story so that you can keep revising them. So I'm going to contact you in 3 minutes to talk about email writing. Thank you very much.